179, right? It is now.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And
welcome to what and what? What and what? What are we ending?
We're ending the beginning of the show,
We
Goat.
were doing really good here, Charlie, and then there's that and. Anyways,
And
shit, what is it? 179. Yeah.
179, that's right.
Man, I'm glad that the most of this crap gets cut out of the audio version. All right, welcome to episode 179. I am completely unprepared and flustered goat.
I'm Jonathan Santiago, aka Fallon Flynn.
I am Charlie. I'm not wearing pants, Technotronic or Unworthly.
Fuck yeah.
No, literally. I've been having. I'll just move. I'll just leap right into what we've been doing this week, just because to explain that
Not wearing
comment.
pants, apparently.
No, yeah, no. So at my work, we have a proprietary application that it's a mission critical application that we wrote and has not been updated for Windows 10 until this last Monday. And for anybody who pays attention to technology, the free Windows 10 upgrade, the last day for that offer was Friday. So all of a sudden, I didn't think we were going to have it. I thought we had just given up on getting it ready. And so all of a sudden, it's just like, by the way, this application works. Are you going to get us updated? And so it's like, I have like 5 work days to get 50 workstations upgraded to Windows 10. 70 hours later, I did it, but and yeah, so that was not fun. But as a result of that, and combined with the fact that like just well, combined with many other factors, I've gotten horribly behind in taking care of my home and like all that stuff. And so like when you have to mow your lawn in just the front yard, the grass clippings fill up 5 of the big bags of
Horrible.
yard waste. It's not a good situation. So yeah, I got into the shower and got up here as quickly as I could, and I just figured, well, I'll just skip the pants because who's gonna be able to tell anyway. So yeah, that was my week. How
70
about
hour
you guys?
work. I was gonna say 70-hour work week, Charlie. I think you've earned no pants Sunday.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true. I have done absolutely nothing to earn not having pants on, and I'm still not wearing any.
Wow,
it's
that's not flattering at all.
thank
No, it's not. It's not.
you.
All
But so
right.
how was your week, John?
My week was crazy. My week was crazy. I'll touch on that a little bit near the end of the show. But normal stuff, not having to do with insanity, the week was okay. It was a lot of preparation for school again, which I just don't want to talk about because, this is a fucking video game show, not like, oh god, fucking school show. So that was it. I just spent a lot of time with my son. I did get yesterday to do an for the first time an escape room. You hear a lot about these lately, and I've had scores of friends that have tried them out, and I had an opportunity to participate in one yesterday, and it was fucking great.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, like this one, um, my good friend Matt found, and he's a real smart guy, and he's really good at picking out great entertainment. And he found this place, and it's supposedly one of the more highly rated escape rooms in the Chicagoland area. Happened to be 15 minutes from my house, so that was delightful. It was awesome enough that I kind of want to take you guys there to do it because I think that you guys would have an amazing time with this. I think you would have so much fun with this. And honestly, um, I mean, it was $30 a person, so it's expensive. It's an hour long, but it was worth it. I had a great time. That was kind of the highlight of my week outside of everything else I'm working on. So how about you, Goat? How was your week?
Wow. I could have spent $30 at a strip club, had more fun.
You say that, but I've spent $30 at a strip club. I'd rather go to the fucking escape room.
Isn't it the same place?
Huh.
Let's see. Let's see. What did I do this week? A lot of studio time. Lot of studio time.
Yeah.
Really hating life again because I started a technical metal band and I have other technical people and it's just, yeah, it's a nightmare. But it's a good nightmare. So other than that, not much. It's been just a lot of hermiting.
Yeah, little birdie tells me that he's gonna finally have some free time to finish up that Codename Phoenix record.
Yeah, that birdie's been hounding me, but schedules aren't lining up.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Well, shall I jump into the releases?
Let us do that thing that you said.
All right.
Yes, Charlie, release the releases.
I will release the releases, which is supposed to be a really bad Kraken thing. It just didn't work
Yes.
out at all.
No.
That's what we just need to call this segment. Release the Kraken. Our news, our
Or
releases segment.
or depending on time of year, release the crappin'.
Yes. But that's not going to be this week because on Tuesday, August 2nd, Batman: A Telltale Game Series Episode 1 comes out for the PS4, Xbox One, PC, iOS, and Android.
I'll be playing that immediately.
As will I. Abzu comes out on the PS4 and PC. Galgun Double Peace comes out on the PS4 and the Vita. Cannon Brawl comes out on the PS4. Laser Disco Defenders comes out on the Vita.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
It could potentially. Nightmares from the Deep, The Cursed Heart comes out on the PS4. Overcooked comes out on the PS4. It's a sequel to a Cooking Mama game, I'm assuming. Not really. Rick Urban Assault coming out on the PS4 and the PS3. Tricky Towers coming out on the PS4 and the PC. And Near Death also coming out on the PC. On Thursday, August 4th, Breach and Clear Deadline coming out on the PS4. And Friday, August 5th, 5th, number 5, the 5th day of the month of August. Little King's Story is coming out on the PC. Looking to the future, No Man's Sky is on the horizon, coming out on Tuesday, August 9th for PS4 and PC. Blade Ballet is coming out on the PS4 and PC. Brutal, that's within the @ sign for the A for some reason, coming out on the PS4. Emily Wants to Play coming out on the PS4. Ollie Ollie Epic Combo Edition coming out on the PS4, and Uno all coming out on the PS4. That group is coming out on Tuesday, August 9th. But yeah, Batman. Telltale Games.
Not
Batman.
Right?
Not.
Like,
Are we
any of
gonna
us
even,
not
like-
gonna play this? No.
I'll get to it.
I
You're
don't
not
think
gonna
my
play this
brother realizes
immediately,
this.
Huh?
You're not going to play this immediately, Goat? This
Not
like a
with
shoo-in for
the
you.
upcoming schedule. I can't. I would love to. I really would. But I have other things going on.
So it's next on your list, but your list is backlogged. That's the problem.
With life, yes.
Right.
Life is sinking Goat's battleship.
All right.
Yes.
So aside from Batman, anything on here interesting, you guys? John, I know you're
I
looking
kind of want to
forward
play.
Sky next week.
No Man's Sky, and I mean, like, it's not priority, but Ollie Ollie looks interesting to me. So I'm curious to see.
Oh, that's right.
But definitely No Man's Sky. That's high up on my list.
That's gonna be weird, John.
Games to play.
Because
for the year.
Ali, you can't have it use your pooping game anymore. You'll have to, unless you bring Lucas Potty out.
Yeah, it's hard to explain, but where my TV is over here, there's a set of mirrors that go toward the bathroom. So I mean, really, if I just squint really hard, I
Just
might
buy
be
bigger
able to
mirrors.
see it. That's it. Yeah,
Some of
that's
those sound
my
really good though, just like interesting based on title. I might just try a couple of them just based on title, like that Blade Ballet or the night something nightmare something.
No, Nightmares from the Deep, The Cursed Heart.
Yeah, it's like what the hell is that? I'm in just based on curiosity at that point.
Oh, that's fair. It appears to be doing some quick live googling.
It's a video game.
Oh, it actually looks like a one of those hidden puzzle games. Like one of those you have like a picture and you have to find things in it. Really?
Oh, nice.
That's what this is? Huh.
Wow, they
Like,
just
my
suckered me
mom
into it.
plays those.
and it's like
Somebody.
and it's like pirate themed, like ghost pirate themed.
All right, yeah, somebody suckered me into that. Good titling, fellas.
Huh? Crazy.
Yes.
Well, all right. So, what did you guys play this week?
Goat.
I can go first. It's pretty simple.
All right.
Pokemon Go. I literally had no other time, and even then I was pulling teeth.
That's it. That's all you had time for.
That's it.
Man, this is gonna be a real short show today. We got like everything's so like slim. I'll go next. So Pokemon Go update. I haven't played it in 2 days. It's starting to lose my interest heavily. Just because
Good. I can catch up.
it I don't like games that funnel leveling into this tiny little bottleneck and then keep it there for half the game's life. Literally, it's obnoxious to me. Becomes too much work, and also, um, I've kind of just figured out that there's so little distinction between the Pokemon's like special moves and what they do when you actually take them to a gym, and it they need to broaden that up. They need to broaden the there needs to be more to do. There's just not enough to do. I'm getting bored with
Yeah.
it. And just going, ooh, I caught this rare Pokemon, and then realizing that a chart came out that showed what the top end CP for most Pokemon is, and it's like most of the high end Pokemon top out at about 3,500 CP, and some of them top out at about 2,500. And it's like once you hit that ceiling, then it kind of just doesn't fucking matter. So I don't know. I'll check it out in 6 months, a year, and see what they've done with it. But I'm kind of done with it.
You're over the hype.
Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't have a problem with the hype at all. That's just as a game, I'm kind of bored with it now. I spend time outside walking around anyways, not with the need of an app. So it was just a bonus that I was playing it while I was out walking around. Now I've kind of just gone back to listening to music in the last week. Um, so I actually played through and finished Inside, the game by Playdead, the makers of Limbo.
Oh, really?
Their new game, yeah. I played through that. Mr. Ryan On, one-time B Squad co-host Ryan On, was he finished it and he was so intrigued by it that he felt compelled to gift it to me. He was just like, "No, I'm buying this. Here. I bought 2 Microsoft Points cards." He sent me the pictures. He texted me. He's like, "Use these codes. Buy the game immediately. I have to have someone to talk with this about. Talking to play it. It's like 4 hours long. Don't complain. Just play it." I was like, "Well, how could I complain because you're buying me a game that I wanted to get anyways? Okay, thank you."
Yeah.
So I played through that. And did you guys both play Limbo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Extensively.
Did you both like Limbo?
Yes.
Yes.
This
Extensively.
game it's kind of the same game mechanically speaking. Like it's a puzzle game. You run from left to right, sometimes back to the left, and you jump and grab boxes and pull switches. And so it's fundamentally the same game, just in a different setting with a different sort of story. And it's just like Limbo. It's a silent narrative. There's no dialogue. Everything is just a silent visual narrative. It's a really, really, really lovingly crafted game. It's really sharp, man. It was a lot of fun. Creepy as fuck in spots. A couple of moments that made me go, oh my god. Some visuals that made me go, oh my god. And one of the most fucked up things I have ever seen in any game I have ever played, ever,
Really?
right near the end of that game. Yeah. It's just really kind of gross. And like, ooh, well, that's unsettling. But really, really neat game with the sort of ending that's got a lot of people debating, like, what does this mean? Like,
Okay.
what the fuck is that? So, I implore you guys to play it. Like, I'm not big on rating scales, but if I, just for the sake of convenience, if I had to put it on a 10-point scale, I would probably give it like a 9, an 8 or a 9. Just because it was really well made and there were some really neat things in it. And a couple of ideas I've not seen in puzzle games involving water that were really cool. So it was awesome. I played a shitload of Killer Instinct this week because of Idol. Let's see. What else did I play? Oh, as we kind of joked last week at the end of the show, I reinstalled Grand Theft Auto Online. So much fun. Like they've added quite a bit to it, but the stunt racing shit is like insane. They're like floating racetracks in the sky. It's like playing Grand Theft Auto on Rainbow Road. It's so fucking cool, man. And like some of them are like these big tubes, and you have to drive up the walls because there are obstacles in various sections of the tube you have to drive through, and then there's like jump pads and you're jumping insane distances in a car and landing and keeping going, and some of it's on motorcycles, and it's just fucking crazy. One of them is this motorcycle track that's really thin, and everybody's fighting for space on it, and there's no borders, and you're really high up in the air, so if you fall off, like you're falling to your death, skydive heights. So it's just like we definitely need to get on and stream some of that on our channel, because I think that you guys would it would be like it would be great to get back
It's
into
time
it.
to come back to it.
Yeah, they've added a bunch of other mechanics too. Now you can be a corrupt businessman. Like you can be a big like corrupt businessman that owns like real estate and like like a Trump tower type, like big ass stupid towers. Like just put a bunch of stuff in it. It's really good. And then I played more of that survival game, The Long Dark. I have now, and this is how the game kind of tracks how well you do. I have now survived for 7 days, 14 hours, 6 minutes, which is nice because my longest before that was 2 days. So I have managed to fend off bears and wolves and almost starved to death like 3 times, and it's a cool game. Having fun. It was long-winded. Charlie, what did you play?
With the basically just today, or last, well, actually more like last night, I guess I should say, because Michelle has left me home for the weekend. She's at Lollapalooza, and I'm having a gay old time. Jealous of that, but amongst taking care of all the things I needed to do around the house, I did find a little bit of time to play some Black Flag. I am like 85% of the way through the story, so I expect hopefully to finish that game this week so I can move on to other things.
Right on. Sounds
But
like
yeah,
you're enjoying it though.
I really am.
Nice.
I mean, there are the same things that I've complained about every Assassin's Creed game. Like, well, I should say about the last three or four. At some point, I feel like my biggest problem with the controls for at least the last several games, I feel like this didn't used to be the case, is that I feel like there used to be separate buttons for running and then for basically activating like your like free move, like the parkour moves.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like at some point they combined those two things into the same button, and ever since they did that, still to this day, I am accidentally running up things and jumping onto things just because I was running by them, and the game said, "Oh, obviously you want to run up this wall to your right and not straight ahead like you've been going this entire time." So that's been my biggest complaint about the about the Assassin's Creed games for at least the last couple. But I mean, there's no point in complaining about it at this point because I'm still playing them, so obviously I'm okay with it. Um, but yeah, no, the I'm interested to see at this point where the story is going to go, like how the game's actually going to come to an end, because I know at this point, obviously, that the next game is not about the same characters, and so they're I'm just wondering how they're going to, if they're going to, I should say, wrap up this character's story, Kenway's story. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to talk more about it next week. But for now, really, that's all I've been playing. I did download. I don't know if you guys have seen that this is available. I saw this earlier today. I haven't gotten to touch it yet, but I plan immediately after we're done recording here. Um, um, I've got a bunch of stuff I've got to take care of, and I want to get all that stuff taken care of so that I can put a little bit of time into the demo of We Happy Few that is currently on Xbox One. I want to touch that. I want to check that game out. So
I read something that said to be careful with how you view that early access like preview program build of it, because they said that it is not actually Kotaku actually wrote up an article that said that was not a great representation of the final build of the game.
Oh, really? Okay.
They said because it leaves out so much of what makes it what it should be. So because it's a preview build. So
okay, well, noted.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Noted. Yeah, but that's it for me.
Well then, yeah, and I tell
That
you,
was
we've been
fun.
we managed to squeeze in. It feels like this week a little bit more game time than we've been able to in the last few weeks, and I have been changing the way that I do this. I've been trying to instead of playing games so that you guys the listeners and viewers of the show just have like a bunch of variety for me. Like I was kind of like playing 6 or 7 games a week, but playing for like 40 minutes a piece, and not really able to give you guys a great description of games, and that kind of wasn't fun. So I'm kind of just like whatever I'm having fun playing, I'm going back to doing that because I feel like I can give you guys better descriptions of what I'm playing if I actually get to play them and not just go, oh my god, look at this, oh shit, look at that, check it out, oh, ooh, piece of candy. The
Yeah.
classic ooh, piece of candy. So yeah, good times. So unless you gentlemen have anything else to add, I'm gonna move on to news for the week.
I do not.
News this week's going to be kind of breezy and light. We're going to move through it quickly. There's good news. There's only one death in the news this week. I feel like every week somebody dies or gets fired.
Yeah.
But we're going to save that for
Well,
coming up episodes.
the deaths will go down again once people stop playing Pokemon Go. they'll stop finding them.
And one, fingers crossed. Hopefully everybody's all right. Um, starting off number five. Number five is a little bit more of an update to a story we talked about a few weeks ago than it is an actual brand new news story. We talked about illegal gaming and gambling rackets in Counter-Strike Go for stupid Counter-Strike skins, and there were a bunch of people who got caught in the middle of all that. Well, apparently Valve's taking this incredibly seriously and have found over 20 different websites that are participating in illegal skin trading and gambling, and they have shut them all down. Like they're like taking swift and like feverish action to shut down these websites. Um, so if you're out there doing this, yeah, they're gonna get you. They're gonna get you good.
For the uninformed, illegal skin trading.
Yeah, so we talked about this on the show a couple weeks ago, if you recall. There are people you can get skins in Counter-Strike Go and you can trade them and use it. Well, people were gambling with them on competitive Counter-Strike Go games. And some people were even throwing cash in the till for that. It wasn't just the skins. And by all accounts, if you're using those things in conjunction with monies, for bet, for profit, then it becomes a gambling issue. If it's a competitive issue, it would be no different than competing or than, betting on sports teams or horse races or whatever at that point because it's a competitive arena. So the guys who were most closely tied to it turned out to be big time YouTubers who were pretending like
Oh, right.
they didn't have anything to do with it. Well, Valve has now sussed out 23 sites in total. They have threatened 23 sites with legal action, of which 20 have already been closed or like willingly shut their doors, essentially, because they know that they're going to get smashed under the boot heel. The other three haven't responded yet. Valve gave them 10 days. Gave everybody, you have 10 days to close up shop and get out of town. And 20 out of the 23 that were threatened with illegal action have done so willingly. A couple of them are still in operation. But CS:GO Lotto, which is the biggest one, has actually been sued. Like it's it's in process right now. So yeah, don't do that. you know, don't gamble when it comes to video games until, well, I suppose shit like this is what's probably going to drive it to becoming legalized, or sanctioned in some way. Like maybe, gaming gambling will happen somehow, like off track betting or something for horse races, but it's not going to
Like
get there
online
until people
poker.
do illegal things. Yeah, exactly. Once somebody moderates it and
Hmm.
once the state can get their cut,
Exactly. Once
the
Uncle Sam gets his
government, yeah,
10%.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna go and move on to number four. Then number four is also kind of a follow-up to another story we talked about. Remember we talked earlier this year about how Disney Infinity is closing up shop and they're going to stop producing games and figures for that line. Well, some of that stuff is coming down the pipeline now, and a lot of people are saying that the actual closure of these properties has not been handled very well in terms of explaining how things will be affected, because as it turns out, the PC and mobile versions of Disney Infinity, the servers have been taken offline for those games and you cannot play them. They have been rendered completely unplayable. The PC and mobile versions cannot be played anymore. If you bought them, if you paid for them, if you have figures, you can no longer play the PC and mobile versions of Disney Infinity.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah. And the thing was is when we talked about this back in May, there were discussions about, how it would happen, when it would happen, but nobody really talked about, coming from Disney's side of things, nobody really talked about the fact that people who paid for the games would be gypped out of what it is they bought already. So to give you a breakdown from Disney Infinity's official website, kind of the quick rundown of it is, as of July 29th, no in-game purchases can be made within the PC, Steam version of Disney Infinity, 2.0 iOS, Google Android, Amazon Android, and Apple TV versions of the game as their feature. That feature has now been removed. You can continue to make in-game purchases with the Steam version of Disney Infinity 3.0, which don't do that because you're not going to be able to play your copy if you do. So that's not cool, Disney. As of September 30th, which was yesterday, can no longer log in to play PC, iOS, Google Android, and Amazon Android versions of Disney Infinity. No longer available on the respective app stores either. Steam versions of Disney Infinity 2.0 and 3.0 will remain operational with the exception of all online services and community features, as those will be discontinued. Apple TV version of Disney Infinity will be removed from the Apple Store, and the Disney Infinity community team will no longer be reviewing or approving any new toy boxes that are submitted to all Disney console, mobile, and PC versions of the game. But if you are playing on any console, Apple TV, Windows 8 through 10 version of the game, you can continue to download your favorite toy box from the community content section until March 2017. January 3rd, 2017. No in-game purchases will be made within the Windows 8 or 10 versions of the game, as that feature will be removed. And as of March 3rd, 2017, Apple TV Windows 8 through 10 versions will no longer be available, supported, or playable. All Disney Infinity online services and community features for all versions will be discontinued. That sucks. That sucks, man.
Yeah, so this isn't even like a, the impression that I got of this was that like they just weren't happy with like how much money it was making, and so they were gonna like kind of just like slowly start to ramp it up. Apparently, this was such a near, maybe some might say, disaster that they just needed to like start to shut this stuff down like right now because they must have been hemorrhaging. I can't say that word. Money.
Hemorrhaging.
Yes. The money for them to have to like pull the plug on this stuff so quickly. Yikes!
Nah.
Just yikes.
Nah.
What nah?
They weren't making Marvel money, so they're like, fuck this. Pull the plug on it, put it back into Marvel. Captain America will make us another $100 gazillion. Fuck everybody who bought it. Who cares? We're Disney. Who's gonna sue us? No one.
Maybe. Maybe.
Disney can do whatever the hell they want. Disney could fucking charge us to say the word Mickey Mouse if they really wanted to, and nobody's got the mind to sue them.
You know, the thing is I remember, do you guys remember at the advent of online-only gaming when the idea was first pitched of online-only gaming or digital download online-only gaming, people scoffed. People were just like, no. You tell me there's going to be an online-only game that one day you can pull the plug on, that you will pull the plug on, and I'm supposed to be okay with that? What about the money I paid for the product? I want to keep my game. I want to play my game. And it's weird because living in the digital download age, that has become... It's almost become understood that whatever you buy may not fucking work later.
Well,
and
you're not buying it, you're licensing it.
That makes me sad,
Yeah.
and I think that's a giant crock of shit. I always thought that was a crock of shit.
We're also in a very short attention span, so you buy it, you played it. If they get rid of it in a year, you've already played it. You're not going back to replay it.
Yeah,
Well,
that
9
depends
times
on
out
the
of 10.
person. No,
Well,
man.
Yeah, what I'm saying,
Nine
I'm
times
saying
out
nine.
of 10, yeah, but
I replay old games all the time. Sometimes for nostalgia, sometimes just to remind myself, sometimes just to see if the game's aged well, and sometimes just because I love that game, whatever that game is.
And you're part of like the 7% of the era that we had disc and can do that. The modern era doesn't
Well, that's
care. It's here
because
now. It's gone tomorrow.
everybody else, fools, let go of their physical media. Fools. I say. So, unfortunate, man.
You're
But if
you're just old, John.
I'm not even going to argue with you there. That is just an absolute scientific fucking fact.
The kids don't care. This
No.
album's really good this week, and next week it's off my iPod because I need
Yeah.
room for a new album.
It's true.
Or sorry, 4 songs of that album.
Yes.
quick anecdote, just because you made me think about this. I have never felt more old than I did when I looked at the Lollapalooza lineup for this year, and there's like 80 bands in this bill, and I know like 3 of them.
Yeah. Well,
Charlie, you won the war on missing Lollapalooza. Trust me.
that's a whole other discussion. But honestly, even people who keep up with modern music are complaining that Lollapalooza's lineup is bloated and crammed full of a bunch of nobody. You know, the top tier headliners everyone wants to see, and then the rest of it is just there to fill stages. Most of the acts that participate in Lollapalooza now, nobody knows who they are. It's okay. Don't feel old, Charlie.
Well, it's
Well, that's
it's your new festival, Charlie. You get your headliners for each day to get everybody in the door, and
Yeah.
then you fill your stages with low-line acts because then you can take that $380 a day per ticket and put it in your pocket and not somebody
It's
else's.
a common complaint with Lollapalooza, and I'm inclined to agree
Yeah.
with a lot of people on that. So, at any rate, getting back to Music Head Radio, we'll put that on hold.
No.
So
Like Tear and Have Bombs.
if you have PC copies of Disney Infinity, prepare your anus. Moving on to number 3 this week. I figured that would
That
be a
was an
good.
interesting segue.
I figured it would be a good place to plug the gap. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. That's
Oh, yeah. Just back it right up
I
there.
did it. I did it.
Wait, hang on.
But
What story are we moving on to?
we're moving on to number three.
Johnny, you should have moved this story up one so we could have moved on to number two.
Oh, fuck. But the important thing is that you caught it and you still made the
Yeah.
joke. That's the important thing. Everybody listening
Yeah.
and watching at home,
You
this
were
is
on a
why Gamerhead
roll for a while
Radio
there.
is a functional unit because we take care of each other. You see, that's what because we make sure.
We pick up the poop jokes.
That's right. Dad jokes, poop jokes. These are our specialities. All right, moving on to number 3 for the week. So, as we just talked about, No Man's Sky is going to be coming out on the 9th. We're just a little over a week away from that game's release, and it's gone gold. So somebody out there managed to get a bootleg copy of it and sell it to one. I'm going to just say it, one Titanic fucking idiot. That ended up paying $1,300 for a bootleg copy of this game
Well,
that
he
is
could
going
just
to be out in a week and a half.
he could just wait till next Tuesday and got a nice copy.
That's all I'm saying, man. But he wanted to be the first one. Like an idiot.
So go pick it up at midnight.
Reddit user Damien, who styles his name spelled as Daymeeuhn.
Oh,
Damihan.
Said that he's paid 20 times more the retail shelf value of this game just to be the first person to play it and have it. A lot of people called bullshit when he started up the thread on Reddit in order to prove that it was the case. He opened it up after receiving it in the mail, stuck it in the PlayStation, installed it, and fired it up. Even going so far as to pop champagne to celebrate being the first person to play the game. Fucking idiot. I really sincerely hope that they ban his PlayStation Plus account and fucking he ends up not whatever contributions or explorations he makes not being kept on the server. Just fucking wipe his shit out.
wow, that's harsh.
Dude, don't really. You're gonna pay $1,300 for a game that's gonna come out a week and a half, and legally he's not even supposed to be playing it. It's not even fucking
Legally?
released yet, and he didn't buy the copy of the game from the shelves or digital download. He pirated the game.
No. If it's a physical retail copy, he owns a legitimate copy of it. If the person who got it in the first place stole it or something like that, that's on them. That's
This
not on
is,
this
to
guy.
be clear, this is not a pressed disc. This is a burned bootlegged
Oh,
copy of this
sorry,
game.
never
That's
mind.
what I'm
Missed
saying.
that part.
It is not a packaged retail copy of the game. So Sean Murray from Hello Games responded with a tweet once he found out, saying, "We've spent years filling No Man's Sky with surprises, and you've spent years waiting. Please don't spoil it for yourself." Because this guy, of course, was putting up videos everywhere for everyone to see and showing people shit that, people were curious about the game. He's just getting on there kind of spoiling it. So Sean Murray is kind of implying that there's a sense of wonder there that you're going to cheat yourself out of if you just watch YouTube videos of it instead of playing it yourself. So a couple of the outlets reached out to this Damien and asked him why pay so much for something that's going to be out in the next week and a half. He responded by saying, "I'm lucky. I'm a lucky guy. I've done well for myself. I have disposable income and I'm happy in life. I'm in a state of being where I don't look at a purchase and determine the overall value by the price tag, but rather how much happiness it will bring myself or the people I care about." What a typical fucking thing for people with disposable money to say. But I'm also very much in a weird state of mind half the time that I've seen some shit and I've dealt with loss, and I know all too well that too many of us take life for granted. I could die in a car accident tomorrow. Oh, come on now. Who knows? If I did, all that money I had saved up didn't do me a whole lot of good, did it? That's not to say that I'm YOLO spending what a douchebag. YOLO spending every cent every day, because I'm not. Contrary to what you might believe, looking at a purchase like this that some would label with completely insane tag, I'm actually pretty good with money. No, you're not. Most of the time. But that
It's gotta
buys
be
me the
kind of good to have this
opportunity.
kind of money saved up.
Yeah, you don't know where he got it, though, and you don't
Wow.
know if it's his. It could be mom and dad's money. But that buys me the opportunity to live on the edge a bit with more reckless and crazy purchases when the time comes. You know,
John,
he's not hurting anybody, but I
John.
think he's a giant douchebag, personally. Go ahead.
From what that statement tells me, This dude sold his Cavalier that he had in the garage and invested it into his new PR campaign to get his YouTube channel over the top.
Possibly, maybe. I mean, he was nothing, no mention of YouTube, just Reddit. But I think this is douchey.
I'm
I
just
don't know, man.
saying, like I got money coming out everywhere, man. It's just
I could
cool,
even
yeah.
see
I'm like,
like
fuck
6 months
you.
before the game's out if there's some sort of like crazy alpha build floating around out there. But like a week and a half before the game's released, like just fucked yourself out of $1,200, man.
Did
Yeah,
he really?
I certainly wouldn't call himself an idiot for spending his money how he wanted to spend it. I mean, like that's his prerogative. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I will say, however, that's the fact that he showed off the fact that he was playing a pirated copy does make him an idiot because that almost certainly will have repercussions.
He
Yeah.
spelled his name Damien in LeetSpeak. He used the word YOLO in a sentence. He spent $1,200 on a game that comes out in a week and a half, and he popped champagne, flaunted it on YouTube. A douchebag.
hmm
Douchebag.
My opinions are not so harsh as yours, John, but yeah, no, this
No, he did fine. He
It's
did
like
fine.
fucking ruining Christmas, man. Don't you ruin Christmas. Anyways,
John, he's got his 15 minutes of fame. That's all I probably wanted.
yeah.
people have paid more for less.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately.
Look how much money we put into this thing.
That's why we Poe.
That's yeah.
So,
Charlie's like, oh, self-reliant.
buttoning up the YOLO douchebag, let's move on to number 2 for the week.
That's gonna cost you $1,300, John.
I've got $5 and a bag of Doritos. That's all you get.
No Mountain Dew to wash down those Doritos.
No, I
You're a
don't
savage,
drink
John.
Mountain Dew. I don't drink. I'm an adult, goat. I don't drink Mountain Dew.
What are you saying here?
What does
drink-
being an adult have to do with enjoying a beverage?
I drink hot tea and I sip on hot tea. That's because I'm old. Get off my lawn. I do
When
sip
did
on
Miller
hot
Lite
tea.
becomes hot tea?
I actually don't have any Miller Lite. I would actually enjoy a beer right now. I don't have any in the house. It makes me sad.
Moving on, John.
Moving on to number 2 for the week. Uncharted, the movie that's been in development for what seems like forever, seems to have secured a new scriptwriter and possibly somebody who wants to direct it in a really odd turn of choice for who should be writing the Uncharted movie. They got the director for Bad Boys 3, Joe Carnahan, to sign up to write the Uncharted film script, which,
Is
that
it
is-
semi-interesting that he did Bad Boys 3, or is that like the most notable thing he's done?
I actually don't know if that's the name's really familiar, so I'm gonna do some live IMDbing.
Because I mean, like, if first of all, A, there is a Bad Boys 3. This is actually news to me. But B, I mean, like, if that's the most if it's just semi-interesting, that's what he did. That'd be one thing.
So he has a bunch of credits: writer, director,
Okay.
producer. So as a
What
we'll
is he
go on
most known for?
we'll go on writer for what he's writing because if he's writing,
Right.
of everything on his list, he's done some TV stuff, he's done some movies. Probably the most solid movie in this list is The Gray, which was a Liam Neeson movie where he crashes on a plane and basically ends up in the situation for The Long Dark, the game that I'm playing right now, where you have to survive out in the wilderness and a bunch of wolves attack him and shit. He is the writer for Smokin' Aces and Smokin' Aces 2. He wrote the A-Team reboot, God help him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind. I'm okay with him doing it just because in his writing credits, I don't even know what it is. He wrote a movie called Taco Heaven. So,
Approved.
never mind. I take it back. He's good. He's good. Let's go with that. As a director, he's saying he wants to direct the movie too, but he doesn't know if they will allow him to do that. He kind of indicated that, with a video game property that is this popular and right now has some fire under it because Uncharted, was it 5? 4? 4 just came out. Fuck. And he just has an innate interest in doing it. He's trying to work with them to let them do that. So, as a director, he has done Bad Boys 3, which has not been filmed yet.
That explains my ignorance to it.
And he did direct The Gray and A-Team and Smokin' Aces. So most of the shit he wrote, he directed.
Oh.
So, right on. Good for him, I guess. Do you guys think this is gonna? You think this is actually gonna come to fruition, or you think this is gonna sit in like development hell forever?
I think it should come to fruition.
Yeah.
And I maintain that Nathan Fillion should play Drake.
My God, if they don't do it, then it's a fucking waste.
He's not
Nope.
a big he's not a big enough name. It won't happen. It
No,
should
he's not.
happen, but it
He's
won't
not.
happen.
He
It's
also
gonna be Mark Wahlberg or somebody.
Could
everybody
be Alec Baldwin.
remembers. God, please no, neither of them. And Alec Baldwin, and as much as I love Nathan Fillion, they're kind of getting a little too old to play Drake.
Yeah.
And Nathan Fillion, I'm sure that they could fix it up, guys. But he's kind of heavy these days, man. I don't know if he could do Drake, from his heyday, unless he trimmed down a little bit.
Well, I mean, they can stick him in the gym
Aaron
for
Paul do it.
months.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if Disney can take people and give them like God-shaped frames, like I guess anything's possible. Moving on to number one for the week. I promised you an unfortunate passing, and so here it is. But it seemed kind of important. Video game magazine pioneer Joyce Katz dies. So Joyce Katz is not a household name, but Joyce Katz is the person who launched Electronic Games, the first dedicated video game magazine back in 1981. The year I was born, by the way, just so that you guys can realize just how crusty and old I am. Joyce Katz is a pioneer of publishing video game magazines in the 1980s and 90s. She died this past Saturday. She was 76 years old. Katz was part of the founding team that brought the first dedicated video game magazine to shelves in 1981. She had a long and prolific career in the publishing of fanzines and the hosting of fan conventions. She spent the last 25 years in Las Vegas organizing cons there, such as SilverCon and Corflu. I don't know what Corflu is. It is literally Corflu, an annual convention for fans of fanzines. Interesting. How meta. Katz, along with her husband of 45 years, Arnie Katz, and writer Bill Kunkel, founder of Electronic Games in 1981. Electronic Games originated many terms still used for the description and criticism of video games. Magazine published until 1985 and was closed, but the three remained active in the games industry as consultants. The three revived Electronic Games again in 1992, but closed it again 3 years later. The entire original 1981 through 1985 run of Electronic Games is archived online. When we publish the original story link for this, you guys can actually find an archived PDF of all of this original game magazine content, which might be kind of a nostalgic trip. She did die of lingering health problems connected to a stroke that she suffered back in May, and survived by her husband. Wait, hold on now. This reads funny. But yes, that's really unfortunate. But who knows? Who knows how many trends were picked up, as a result of the first published video game magazines. Maybe there would be no EGM without it.
Yeah, well,
Well, it wouldn't be.
just because it was a convention, you made me curious. I looked it up. Corflu 34.
34, Jesus
It's
Christ.
scheduled for April 28th through 30th, 2017. It costs $95 to attend, and it is in Grandia Hills, California.
I wonder what the attendance is. Like, for $95 a badge, it's got to be something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, also they have the most basic. I think their website was made 15 years ago and has never been updated. It's as basic gets. Like
Hey man,
this
I
is
guess
Web
if it gets the
1.0.
job done.
Yeah, no, true.
Madness.
But
And then this was almost a news story for the week, but instead of making it a news story, I'm just going to screen share this with you because nothing will illustrate better what has taken place here than to just show you. A Reddit user started up a thread where he was teaching people how to mod Dark Souls and replace the textures in it on the PC, and was taking requests like, what do you want me to texture in Dark Souls? And somebody made the ridiculous, insane request for him to retexture the entire game, brace for it, with Nicolas Cage.
oh god,
Oh.
So everything is Nicolas Cage. Every texture in the game has Nicolas Cage on it. Everything.
that's
That's kinda cool.
horrifying.
That is horrifying. Actually, if you can beat this game, if you could beat Dark Souls with this level of fucking distraction in it, then I applaud you, because I wouldn't be able to focus on attacking anything because I wouldn't be able to get Nicolas Cage's horrifying face out of my mind.
So is this like the special edition Cage Souls?
Apparently it is.
I'd play that. That'd make that game a lot more fun and less frustrating.
Indubitably. I decided to throw that in at the end because it always makes me really sad when we have to talk about somebody in the gaming industry
Hmm.
passing away, and I figured let's not go out on a somber note this time.
No.
Instead, let's look at Nicolas Cage's insane fucking head.
Yeah, yeah. Dead acting career. Yeah, good idea.
Yes, yes. That's gonna do it for news this week, fellas.
Well then. So from news we go to
The feature.
yeah,
It's
that's it.
almost as if, Goat, you have done 179 episodes of this show.
That's not true.
Or somewhat, yeah, I'd say maybe like closer to 169 with the amount of dates you've missed on tour. Maybe.
Yes.
There you go. 10 less.
At least 150.
At
Yeah,
least 150.
yeah, yeah. I'll take 150. Not happily, but I'll take it.
So, for our feature this week, we asked
Batman.
everybody in what's that?
Batman.
What about Batman?
That was part of the feature. Batman.
What was it?
Because it's a
Uh,
license game.
Yeah, oh, that's true. I guess technically it would be. We started asking everybody, in mailbag, which we'll get to coming up, what licensed games they've played that they remember that were good or bad, or like let's talk a little bit about licensed games. Are there any? And to be clear, when we're talking about this, licensed games being like movies that were made into video games or products that were made into video games,
Hmm.
not just an original IP made for the video game world. So, um, are there any particular licensed video games that you guys can remember from youth to now that stood out to you as being a particularly good or bad licensed game?
Well, I have two answers.
Okay.
Old school, back like NES days, the Turtles games, except for the first one, we don't talk about the first one, but the second through like fourth one, those were really good. The
You
little
talking about
sides.
the very first TMNT?
Yeah, we're skipping that one. The
The-
second one
The
on.
seaweed. The goddamn seaweed.
That
Yeah.
game is legendary. What are you
It
talking
is
about? skipping
legendary
it?
as being really pain in the ass. It was good, don't get me wrong, but
Oh yeah,
it was Dark Souls before Dark Souls.
it
But
was.
the side scroller beat 'em ups were amazing with the Turtles and all that, and the Simpsons and stuff like that. Like that back then they were really good.
Yeah.
And then we move into modern era, and I'd say probably in the last 20, probably 20 years, I've played one licensed game that I would consider to be good.
And which one would that be?
That would be G-Force, the
Really?
guinea pig super agent one.
What?
Yeah.
You've talked about.
Yes.
No, John. Goat has talked about this game before. I believe
Yeah.
I believe he played it before you joined the show, and yeah, no, he's made me
It's good.
think about
It's
playing
good.
this game. Yeah.
I mean,
That is
it's seriously
bizarre.
good. It's John. Your response was mine when I was like halfway through, going, "What? Why am I still playing this? Why is this good? There's a good narrative. There's good mechanics. It's everything about a movie game you wanted in a movie game. It only happened once. Apparently, it's lightning.
So, are there any particular games that stand out to you then, Goat, as just being licensed games that you remember being just fucking unplayably bad?
Yes. E.T. is on the top of the list.
Oh, that
But
poor game.
but even
never-
more but even more modern. The Hot Wheels racing games, all trash. Every last single one of them.
How did you not kind of already know that going in, Goat?
But it had Hot Wheels on it, and it was cars. They were ahead of the curve. The Cars games are better than the Hot Wheels games, for God's sakes.
All right.
But pretty much anything, like, I don't know. I mean, the Sherlock Holmes game was alright. It was a little slow, but for the most part, I'd say, like, everything I've played that was movie-based, it's just been almost unplayable because it's so broken and just shove it out there, slap the name on it for release of said product to be a sister product to it.
There's definitely a stigma that surrounds licensed gaming, especially movie video games. It seemed like everybody held out hope for movie-related licensed video games until right around 2005, 2007,
the ass
and then
fell out
people
of it.
just went, no, we're done with this. And so you almost never
That's about when
see big
Yeah.
licensed games that tie into the movie coming out anymore because it's fucked up so bad
Well,
most of the time.
that's about the time I think King Kong came out, and that one was just the Peter Jackson's King Kong
Oh
game.
yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
no.
Do you guys remember the one of the biggest like licensed movie tie-in games I could remember
Hmm.
was when they did Enter the Matrix, and they tied
Oh,
it. They
sure.
had like the whole cast do it, and I played that game start to finish. And despite its weird problems, I actually liked that game.
I'd agree, and I mean, John, I don't know if your reasons are the same, but I actually liked Enter the Matrix just because I'm a Matrix nerd. I mean,
Yeah,
like to be clear, the movies are not good, but I do place I do score very high based solely on style,
yeah,
and so the style and just the just the world that the Matrix movies were trying to convey, you know, story and acting aside, they lost points there, but they made up a lot of points in everything else. And so I actually enjoyed the Matrix movies and like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Animatrix and like all the stuff that
Yeah,
they
like if
tied
you
into it.
were around during the fervor of when that was at its height, it was actually really exciting because this is before the superhero movie, and honestly, Neo was the closest thing to like a superhero we got in a lot of instances at that time, aside from the X-Men, and those movies weren't great either.
Yeah.
So,
The coolest thing about the game was that there was story. Like there was stuff they mentioned in the movie, but didn't cover in the movies that they were referring to the game. So really, to
mhm,
get the entire story of everything Matrix related, you had to play the game.
yeah, yeah, which
And
I wanted to do. I actually wanted to get through it. I liked it. So even though it was not a well-reviewed game and people complained a lot about the controls, I played through it a couple times. I actually really liked that game when I was younger. I was
yeah,
able to overlook the problems it had. Now the one that came out after it, Path of Neo, was unplayably fucking bad.
yeah, I have to agree there.
My brother loves it for some reason. I
I
don't.
tried to play it. I wanted to like it. I wanted to get to that crazy ending, but I couldn't get there.
Yeah.
Do you know about the ending of this game?
No.
So okay, the I'm thinking about it now, and I think I'm gonna have to just YouTube the ending just because I know of it. I've never seen it, and I couldn't get there myself just because the game was so bad. But the Path of Neo video game is basically just covering basically the story of the movies. But then they get up to the end, and of course, if you've seen if you've seen the Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions, you know that at the end of the game, it's basically Neo fighting like 100 like a million Smiths, Age of
Yeah,
Smiths.
yeah.
Um, as I understand it, at the end of the game, when you're basically like the game pauses and like the Wachowskis come on screen and they're like, "So you guys know how the story ends? We decided we're going to do something completely different." And so then it cuts back into the game, and all the Smiths like come together and come to form and merge into one like Megazord giant
Oh
Agent
God.
Smith. And so then it's Neo, it's normal sized Neo fighting like a giant Agent Smith made up of a bunch of little Agent Smiths, and I just think that's hilarious.
Yeah, I would absolutely play that. You know what that sounds like though? That sounds like a
That's
lot
probably
of
why Nick likes
drugs.
it.
Yeah,
Sounds like a just a big fistful of hallucinogens. That's what it
yeah.
sounds like.
Um, the something for me that's on the same lines as what we were just describing with Enter the Matrix, where like the game had its problems, but the reason why I enjoyed it is just because of how it tied into and just improved your the story and the narrative of the property it was related to is very recent free games with gold game the Tron game
Mhm.
the exact name of that I cannot remember off the top of
Tron
my head.
Evolutions.
Thank you. But yeah, same idea. Like the game, it was definitely it had a lot of the problems that licensed games tend to have, but it fit in with the movie and told a story that related to the movie, so that for you to understand everything and to get everything and to get the entire story, you have to play the game too. Which if they're gonna do a licensed game, that's the kind of thing that I like. Is like don't just make it the movie or the book or whatever it is. Like give me a different reason to play this other than to just play an interactive version of this other thing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I
I
agree there.
agree. I agree. Charlie, any particular licensed games that stood out as being really good or really fucking bad to you?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's the obvious answer of good is that it's like the first, arguably the most successful superhero series games of all time is the Arkham games.
Yeah, yeah.
It's that's an easy answer, but it's ironic considering that some of the worst licensed games, especially in the cartridge console days, were also Batman related. The
Oh man.
Yeah, like the
Oh.
Batman Forever video game. I mean,
Ugh.
was just from '95, I think it was. Is
Ooh.
just
Yeah,
awful,
but
like so
It's
bad.
bad.
well,
It's really
let's
bad.
let's be fair, Charlie.
Yeah.
Batman Forever was awful. Anything with
Well,
that title on it was awful.
that's fair. That's you're not
But
wrong.
even the NES one, the original NES one was a pain.
I
Yeah, it
like. You
was
know what? I liked
it
the
was
very
alright.
first one though. Like
Yeah,
it was fun and it was a Shinobi style game. That's really it was just a
yeah.
Batman ninja platformer, But it was fun. I liked it. Um, were there any from your guys' childhood that were good games you remember playing a lot of? Just like I liked this game and I played it all the time as a kid.
You're gonna laugh.
Let's hear it.
I'd say license wise, I played a shit ton of Chippendales Rescue Rangers,
Yeah, I played a bunch of it. That DuckTales,
Okay.
DuckTales one and
um,
two.
Aladdin, the Sega Genesis Aladdin, the Super
Yeah.
Nintendo one wasn't
Oh,
very
with
good.
a knife. No wonder you're so
Yeah,
violent,
dude,
John.
that's right. Well, I'm Puerto
A
Rican. I
lot of
gotta
those
have a knife.
old Disney games,
Yeah,
Lion King,
yeah.
Aladdin,
Tailspin.
Hmm.
yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
those games they did pretty good with.
hmm
Do
Star
you
Wars on the NES was good,
Yes, yeah, the
where you
Star
went
Wars
from like
games were
cave to
good.
cave.
Yep.
do you guys
Fucking hard.
remember the really weird like product tie-in characters? Like there was a Cool Spot game, a 7-Up Cool Spot game,
Yeah, yeah. I
and
played that.
Oh,
the
yeah.
What
Noid.
about? Wait, Yonoid?
That's it. The fucking Yo Noid. That's it.
John,
Like
John, I have that cartridge
I believe you, man.
in
Like
my
I
personal
I played
collection.
it. If you were to show a kid today, you know what the funny thing about that is? Such a product of the 80s, 80s and 90s. Because if you were to put the Noid on any sort of food product today, people would be like, "That is disgusting. I don't think I want to
hmm
eat at your establishment." Because the
hmm
Noid is pretty disgusting.
Ah,
But
the claymation
Yeah.
cartoons.
um,
Mhm.
there was I feel like do you guys remember that it was a free game? It was like when digital download games, the concept of you're gonna give me a free game, I'll play it. Do you remember that Doritos Dash game that you
Yeah,
could get like
yeah,
your
Core
free
Stash,
gamers card
whatever.
on? Oh, it's so
Oh,
fucking
yeah, yeah.
terrible. It was like a
Well, and that
dinosaurs running around.
that and that brings me to the three games that Burger King offered
Sneak
at their
King.
stores.
Sneak King. Oh my god, I forgot about those, man.
Yeah, and Pocket Bike.
And those became like the only game that you could get at GameSpot or GameStop for like
hmm
$3, and so everyone
Uh,
bought them just because they
yeah.
kept trading it in after they played it because it was such
hmm
shit. Oh
Yep.
god.
Just the entire concept of Sneak King is just creepy and weird.
Yeah,
Where
it
you're
was.
where you're the,
Yeah.
where you're the freaking giant mascot-headed Burger King guy, and you're like sneaking around like a ridiculous burglar, like trying to like reverse burglar people burgers, and like it's just yeah weird.
Um,
Did you thousand that one, Charlie?
No.
a lot of
No.
people don't realize this, but you know what's it's technically a licensed game is GoldenEye. GoldenEye's a licensed game.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
And
Oh yeah.
that was my
hmm
brother and I played just an
Everybody did.
obscene amount of GoldenEye. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's such a classic. You know what I mean? And
hmm
I think that's a good example of a good licensed game. I'll tell you one licensed game that I used to play a lot of when I was a kid. I don't never mind whether or not it was any good. Um, RoboCop versus Terminator for the Super Nintendo.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah, I used to play a lot
I
of
don't think
that.
I played that one.
that
It was
one was
awesome.
weird.
It was awesome, man. It was literally RoboCop fucking blasting Terminators. It
Yeah.
was sweet, man. I dug it. It's cool. I did play the licensed RoboCop NES game too as a kid, and Nick and I loved it and we played it, but it was fucking terrible, terrible. Fester's Quest, the
Oh, I beat
Addams
that.
Family. What? Dude, that
Yeah.
is on like my top 5 like hardest can't
Yeah.
fucking beat it games ever.
hmm
Oh
It
my,
took
did you
me
beat it without a Game Genie? Did you even beat
yes,
it on
it
an
took me.
emulator?
No, I beat it back in the day on my NES. It took me about, I'd say probably about a year and a half,
Oh
and it was
my
all muscle
god.
memory at that point,
My
and it still
father
took me a
got
week.
farther than anybody. That one is like Blaster Master hard.
Yeah. Oh, it
Ugh.
gets insane. Like it was
No.
sweat, scream. Yeah, it was crazy at the end.
Um that's one of the ones that stands out to me is do you guys remember the Magic Kingdom NES game? Did you guys ever play that one?
No.
Mm-mm.
It's like an RPG style game where you walk around the rides at the Magic Kingdom and you have to ride the rides. You go to like the Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean and
Oh,
you have
so
to
it was
ride
like
the
Roller
rides
Coaster
and
Tycoon.
collect these things. I played that one. There's all kinds of like crazy licensed games, man. But
Yeah, there's some good ones, but I think in the cart days they were more good ones than bad ones, and then when we went to disc based, there was a lot more bad ones than good ones.
Do you want to? Do you want? Let's talk about some really bad licensed games though, like some super bad. I had to pull up a list just to because there's so many bad licensed games that we could do a 2-hour show just on the bad licensed games. Do you guys remember the movie White Men Can't Jump?
Yes.
Yes.
Wasn't
There
that a Super
was.
or a Sega title?
No, that was a Jaguar game.
Oh, that's
It
right.
was. It's.
It was a black cartridge. I was close.
It is a. It's an Atari Jaguar basketball game with some of the worst. I can't even. It's so bad that I don't know how to describe it to you. So I'm just gonna show you guys the cover to this game.
If I remember correctly, it was like
Like
arch
the
rivals, but
worst
worse.
dumpy '90s art I've ever seen.
Wow. That's not even. That's an intern right there.
That
Mhm.
is an intern.
Well, I mean, the Jaguar was an intern.
So for the audio listeners, the art is it's a brick wall with White Man Can't Jump like imposed over it, not like graffiti or anything, like it's straight letters with like a goofy little like dude with a basketball and like does he have brass knuckles on? Like what's happening there?
He
And
does.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it says on
and
it.
that's
So
racially offensive. And then on the cover of the game, you've got a screenshot of the game below it, which I don't think I've ever actually seen before, and then the Jaguar logo.
Well, and it also says in the top left corner, it comes with a free Team Tap, which is a 4-player adapter included for a $39.99 value.
Oh.
In order to play 4 players, you had to buy an adapter.
well, yeah,
So-
I mean, that's back in the day where we all had like the four ways.
Oh, I know, I
F1
know.
race and all.
Crazy though, man. That is just some really atrocious artwork.
I can sum this up really easily for the listeners. Everything you've seen in early 90s, like Saved by the Bell, is on the cover of that in what would be considered graffiti.
Were you guys aware that there was a Dirty Dancing PC game
Yes.
No.
that existed? But if you want to get to like when you talk about licensed games, most people generally, I would say that more Star Wars games have been better than not good. Like most Star Wars games have turned out pretty well, I think.
They're
Most.
playable.
Yeah. Except for the Star Wars fighting game Masters of Terras Kasi. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah.
It was an original PlayStation fighting game. My brother and I were so fucking excited because we're such big fighting game people. And then we played it and we were like, this is broken. This is just unplayable. George Lucas would be rolling over in his grave. Oh, wait, he's still alive. Oh, and then he went and made Jar Jar, and so Terras Kasi is somehow better. Do you guys remember the Fight Club game that they made a few years ago for the original Xbox?
Never played it, but I'm aware of it. Yeah.
It is, again, a fighting game that I got kind of excited about and then played it and went, oh, no. WWF Crush Hour, where the now WWE, then WWF, they got on board with the Twisted Metal car combat craze. And it
Oh, I
was
missed
Wait,
that.
what?
yeah, this existed. This was a PlayStation 2
Oh
title.
boy. And speaking of bad WWE, WWF licensed games, Goat, you pointed out something about one of the free games with gold next month.
Oh yeah. WWE 2K16 is already going to be free games with gold. If that tells anybody anything.
That's not a good sign.
Um,
That may
I'm
be.
glad-
We would have to check on this, but that may be the quickest a game has ever gone from release to free game.
It
with
might
gold
be,
or
yeah.
PSN game, yeah.
In the same year that's on its cover.
Yeah,
Goat,
yeah.
I will
I'm gonna
will
play it.
download that and
I'm-
play it online with you just so that we can capture some
Oh,
video and have a
I'm
laugh.
totally down for this. I'm like, sweet, I wanted to buy this for super cheap. Free is that price. Thank you,
Yep.
Games of Gold.
I'm gonna play
Hell,
the
I'll
save.
even play this game with you guys. Just
Good, get in. We'll do that. We'll stream that
Yeah.
shit.
I want to see Charlie. I want to see Charlie deal with man on man violence in a video game.
Do you guys remember the Atari Ghostbusters game? How unplayable
Yeah.
fucking bad that was.
Oh, God. But it was the only white cart you could find from miles in your game collection.
Didn't matter. Wasn't good. Wasn't good.
I think it's floating around here somewhere still. I might have it in mine.
Superman 64.
well,
Oh God!
that's,
Oh,
that is
Oh, that would-
that. I think Superman 64 and ET are the two like easiest answers in this conversation. Like those games are just
I
are
still have a
legendarily bad.
Yeah, I still have a
Yeah.
theory that Superman 64 was supposed to be Super Superman, and they just waited and put it out on 64 without even working on it.
Yeah,
Gnarly, man. Gnarly.
basically
And to think that we at one point didn't know any better and used to pay money for this nonsense.
that.
But yeah, so I feel like a fairly mixed bag of results between the three of us. But man, some of those games I haven't thought about or talked about in years, and it's I would be interested to go back and try a couple of those just to see if they're as bad as I remember them being.
I'll say, if you got a NES, I can help you in some of those.
Of course you have them. Well, of course you do. Why not? Um, so in tying into the feature and kind of moving on to the mailbag, we actually asked of our listeners, with the impending release of Batman, the Telltale series, it has us thinking about licensed games. What is the best and worst licensed game you've ever played? Goat, did you get any answers this week?
No,
Charlie.
nobody likes me. Mhm.
Well, I believe we got some responses in the Players Club. It's the Facebook group that we're all members of. If you aren't in there, feel free to join us there on Facebook, just the Players Club. Um, Temporarily named the Pokemon Go Players Club, which was fun,
Yes,
I
that's
guess,
right.
Very,
That's
while
right.
very
it lasted.
temporary.
Yeah, but we got one response in the Players Club Amir Wali Hamza says the best Telltale Walking Dead the first season and worst Superman 64 again
Yeah, there you
easy
go.
fallback answer
Well, that's not
but
bad.
but yes.
Yeah, just unwatchable. It's unplayable.
But then,
Drek.
John, didn't you say you didn't like Telltale Walking
No.
Dead?
I don't dislike Telltale Walking Dead. I feel as though it's overrated, but
Oh, okay.
that's just me.
That's just the Wolf
Yeah.
Among Us talking. I got it.
No, I played it before I played The Wolf Among Us. Another time, as not
Yeah.
to bleed into the mailbag, I'll explain on this show when the time is right.
Oh, yeah.
Why I don't think that game is as awesome as
Yeah, this
everybody
is not
else
the time
thinks
for
it
that.
is.
I was just
Yeah,
trying to bust your balls, and now you're
yeah,
trying to make it real.
yeah. That's true. That's what you get, goat. Don't try to touch another man's balls. Never mind. Moving on.
Too late.
Oh well, there you go. I got a handful of responses for the mailbag this week.
Really a
Um,
handful?
shut up, goat. See, we always end up taking care of each other. That doesn't sound right either. Fucking asshole.
You're not helping this whole touch another man's balls line of thought
Uh,
here.
Charlie
Moving on.
wants to see. There you go. That's. I knew it was any second. You can tell when Charlie gets really uncomfortable because the shoulders go up, he goes back, the hand goes up, and then he leans to the mic. Moving on. That's the move. It's a three-step process. So, some of the responses I got were Jeff Pape says, I would say one of the worst is Silver Surfer for the NES, and one of the best is X-Men Origins Wolverine. Now, Silver
What?
Surfer, I completely forgot about Silver Surfer. I owned that game. Man, was it fucking hard like we were talking about with the other games, with
Professor's
Master's
Quest
Quest,
TMTT.
and yeah,
Hard.
man, it was that level of hard. But I
Yeah.
can't tell if it was hard because it was difficult or if it was hard because it was broken. Probably broken. But man, thank you for reminding me of that, Jeff. X-Men Origins Wolverine. My brothers actually said the same thing. That's actually a really good game.
Huh.
Do you guys remember that one?
Yeah, it just happened. Like that movie happened, what, like 5 years ago?
Yeah, and it was there was like a lot of damage, and he would like heal. His damage would heal on the spot if he got shot or cut up or whatever. I
Yeah,
played a little
adamantium.
demo for it. Yeah. Jason Paskowitz says Ghostbusters and Wanted for the PS3 were both really good licensed games. I think he means the newest Ghostbusters that a lot of people are now saying is like the true sequel to Ghostbusters 2
Yeah, that was
and 1
really
and
good.
2, Yeah.
It was like what, oh nine? That
8 or
Ghostbusters?
9, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that game too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really
Mhm.
cool. Really good. I liked it a lot. Aaron James says the best, in my opinion, is The Witcher, but I'll argue that just because it's the best game of all time, regardless of the qualifier. She's just throwing her hat in the ring for that. The entire Witcher series, actually, but The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is hands down my above anything ever my favorite. The worst, bar none, Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe.
Yes. That was
Not
busted.
very widely liked amongst Mortal Kombat fans.
It was just broken.
It's okay. It led to Injustice, which is a better game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not great. I don't think. Garrus Redfield says, I would have to say Michael Jackson's Thriller game. I didn't know there was a Thriller game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Disturbing.
There's
And
also a Moonwalker game too.
that one I remember. See, everyone knows that. That was one of the iconic
Mm-hmm.
Genesis cover
Yeah.
arts and cartridges back in the day. Samantha Hine says Deadpool is pretty fun, and the Nancy Drew games for PC are very entertaining. Didn't even know they made Nancy Drew games for the PC. Right on. Something for everybody, I guess.
I think they're probably like those. I'm presuming it's like those like $10 or $15 like Big Fish games, you know?
Yeah, probably.
Why didn't they make a video game of Big Fish? That would have been a great movie game.
Actually, kind of, yeah, a little bit.
Yes. Indubitably. But yeah, that's it for mailbag responses from me.
Okay. I got the ones from our actual official Gamerhead page. Dun dun dun. Licensed game pending. Let's see.
We could make a game out of our logo.
Oh yeah, it'd be like the Beavis and Butthead game, just reskinned. Let's see. Jeffrey Michael says best would be Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic or Batman Arkham series. Worst is Total Recall on the NES or America's Army on the 360. Oh my God, I forgot about Total Recall. That was
It was terrible.
that was a nightmare in a great cartridge.
I can't believe we left out Back to the Future. Now that I think about it,
Oh yeah,
that was really fucking bad.
the second one was worse, and then
I
they
never played the
revived
second
it
one.
with the Telltale one. So I mean, technically, Back to the Future is both bad and good depending on what generation you talk about.
Yeah.
The Goonies game was
Just like
terrible
Batman.
too.
Yeah.
Goonies was bad, and Friday the 13th.
I have that one.
Yeah, crazy man. So, yeah.
And I have a lot of bad games the more we talk about this.
Yeah. Okay, and then unless you guys had anything else.
No,
No.
that was it for
Okay.
me.
And then we do have a Songbird email. She writes, Dear Technotronicorn, Goat, and Fallon Flynn, mailbag answer. I think I mentioned before that I really like Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee for the GameCube. I've heard that about that game. That
I
it's-
would like
that
to
it's
play
really
it.
Possible, yeah. Or
Yeah, I kind of want to check this out.
Seriously, it's worth picking up despite the average reviews, especially when you verse against people. One game I do have fond memories of, but clearly hasn't aged well, is Rugrats Search for Reptar. As a fan of the show, I loved how it was like playing the episodes. On the flip side, I was rather disappointed with Rugrats in Paris, as it was just a bunch of mini games and the ending was lackluster. Additionally, there's that awful Jurassic Park Super NES game, which has no save mechanics. Yes, that would be a problem. Also, speaking of licensed games that are good because it's like playing the show South Park, Stick of Truth.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
and the
yeah.
fractured butthole will be good.
Yes. Before I get to question, I'll say that Mr. Flynn did hit the nail on the head when saying screen door effect about my VR experience. Cool. Let's see. I watched that
One to
Batman
John.
trailer. Yes. I watched the Batman trailer, and I have to ask, what the hell is Victor Goddamn Sullivan doing in Gotham? John, not being as familiar with the Batman universe as you probably are, do you want to field that?
I'm sorry, what was that?
She's wondering why Victor Goddamn Sullivan is in Gotham.
Oh,
I don't think that's his real name.
No,
I
no,
don't think so.
that's there. Victor Sullivan is Sully from Uncharted, so she's joking about the trailer.
Oh.
The voice of Sully is in the trailer, and it's
Yeah.
very evidently the gentleman that does Sully's voice. So
Yeah.
I did not
Steve Williams
recognize
by
him.
Victor
That's
Sullivan.
funny.
Yeah.
Vacationing, Songbird is the answer. She continues, is there really any reason to even want the Xbox One S that's coming out in a few days if you already own a 1 terabyte regular Xbox One besides its color size and 4K output? I mean, would there be any price point or trade offer you'd be willing to go get one? My answer would be no. I mean, if I already have one, I mean, we are on the verge of getting a second one for the bedroom, just because we have an aging, slowly dying Google TV for having Plex access in our bedroom that is on the way out, and I have to reboot it daily at this point. I love my Google TV. This isn't even Android TV. This is old school Google TV. So the fact that this thing is
You've
still
had the thing for what, a decade?
no, not that long, but
It's close.
sometime. I don't even. It's been like 5-6 years, something like that.
Okay.
But I think maybe I don't
I
remember.
think it's longer.
Anyways, no, because I mean Android hasn't even been around that long. But
All right.
yeah, but yeah. So just because Plex works so well on the Xbox One. Um, we've been on the verge of getting a second one also, because that way also when Michelle is using it for her footballs in the main room, I can then play remotely, or just go to the bedroom and play games,
Go
whichever
back to
suits,
the
because
two 360 system that you
uh-huh,
had.
exactly.
The married
Megan
life.
and I have
Buy two
talked
of
about
everything.
getting another one.
Yeah.
Megan and I have talked about getting another one because we actually use our we use our Connect quite a bit just for voice commands, and
Yep.
which, by the way, the Cortana update is starting to roll out
I
today.
have it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Do you hate it really?
Ha!
Hate it. Hate it.
What
Ha!
is it you hate about
Wait,
it?
I don't know why you're high, but the reason that I hate it is because I've been saying Xbox do this and this and this and this now for several years. Like the fact that they're making me switch to saying, "Hey Cortana, you listen this and this and this and this,"
That's why I'm
it's
saying ha.
irritating. But
Is that why you
why are
hate it?
you saying
Because
ha?
Because Cortana is the devil. Her and Siri are together, and they're going to take over the
she's
world and screw
fine.
everything up.
She's fine. So that's what you dislike about it is that you're having to relearn how to use your Xbox?
Yeah, for no reason, for absolutely no
Okay.
reason. I mean,
So
like
first
Yeah.
world
there's
I
problem.
know that it'll annoy me
no, this
for two or
entire
three
show is about first
years.
world problems, okay?
But aside from the inconvenience of having to use it, do you dislike the functionality of it aside from having to relearn the commands?
Well, I haven't. Well, yes, because it doesn't really even work right.
Yeah.
Because like as soon as it came on, I asked it like, Cortana, what time is it? And it's like, here, I'll play you this song on Groove Music. I'm just like, you're doing what now?
Well, don't
And
you also have the beta version too?
no, I wasn't in the beta for this one because of how
Oh, okay.
badly the beta went the last time.
I
I didn't want to mess with that this
tried
time
to
around.
Okay.
update to run an update. I think they're just rolling it out because mine still has not been updated and wasn't available earlier when I checked it
Okay.
out. But I'll comment on that next week. I'll spend some time with it, actually find a list of commands and try everything out and give you
Yeah.
guys kind of a rundown of my opinion of it next week, assuming I get it on there between now and then. But
Yeah, I
Can
do.
we, wait, can we still order pizza on our Xboxes? They get rid of that?
I think that's still there. I'm not sure though. But before anybody writes in to tell me, yes, I know I can go back to the old Xbox. I can turn off Cortana and go back to the old Xbox command set. I don't want to do that though, just because I want to get used to it and move on because eventually I know they're going to get rid of it, the old Xbox command. So I might
Yeah.
as well just make the jump
just
now
do
with
it
everybody
now.
else.
Yeah.
Aren't they? Their whole goal is to assimilate 10 into the Xbox One, so
Basically, yeah.
all the Xbox only things will disappear.
Yeah. I mean the nice thing about Cortana, I mean it doesn't do me any good, but for people without a Connect Go, and I know you've mentioned this a couple times,
Hmm.
the nice thing about Cortana is that you can use her commands over a headset. Um,
Yeah,
and
that's a
so
welcome
Oh,
addition.
yeah.
Because sometimes, man, like for me, when I have a you can kind of see it back there. I have a wall unit, a really nice, brand new, expensive wall unit for air conditioning,
Mhm.
but that's my fucking television back there with the Connect on top. So I will turn on the AC and adjust the volume to work with voice commands. And even after I've recalibrated it, half the time I have to scream at my TV when the air conditioner's on. Sometimes I just
Yeah.
turn off the AC so I can use my Xbox and then turn it back on when I'm situated.
Yeah.
So having a headset
Now,
will probably eliminate that problem a
yeah.
bit.
They now they're saying that with that Cortana is better with voice recognition and that she'll be able to recognize commands easier. I will let Michelle be the judge of that because the Xbox does not hear her. Like she has to put on her man voice whenever she tries to talk to the Xbox One because like just her natural pitch and register like it just does not hear her. Like all the time she's like apologies for instead of saying Xbox I'm going to say Trevor just in case anybody has an Xbox in the room, but she'll be like Trevor pause, Trevor volume up, like Trevor play, and like it does not hear her and she'll like try it 3 times and she'll be like Charlie can you just do it and I'll just do it once and it hears me perfectly. So it irritates her to no end.
Megan can get it to work, but she has to yell at it sometimes too. She has a very authoritative. She puts on her mom voice when she does it.
Yeah, she has to deepen her register, right? That kind of
Yeah,
thing.
a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle's the same thing. But anyways, we're digressing off of Songbird's question. So Songbird, to answer your question, I wouldn't trade one in because
uh,
a 1-to-1, it doesn't interest me at all. But considering we've been contemplating, both John and I have been contemplating getting a second one for various reasons. I mean, like if I was going to buy a second one today, I would certainly consider the new one over the old one, just depending on the price difference. But the fact that you can probably get a used one for like 220 versus a new S for 300 or more. I mean, I
Megan is in love with him. Like Megan, when we watched the trailer for it during E3, she was like, "Oh my God, I want one." I was like, "It's just smaller though. It doesn't, and it's got a bigger hard drive." That's what I'm interested in because I have an original. I have a day one console, so I have a 500 gig, hard
yeah,
drive. I don't have a terabyte, so that's what I would want it for. Plus,
yeah.
I don't want a white console. It gets dirty too fast. Controllers look
That's
disgusting.
true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yeah, I'd probably put a skin on it or something.
Mm.
But yeah, I would yeah, John, I would be right there with you on the storage. But I added a 2 terabyte drive to mine like a
Yeah,
year
that's
ago,
what I
and
got.
so I got around that issue. But anyways, so moving on,
Well,
Songbirds.
I don't get a say. I don't get a
Well,
say.
we know your answer, Goat.
No, actually, I'm kind of interested in getting an S
No
Really?
shit.
just
Show
for
it.
touring
What
purposes.
a twist.
Yeah, for touring purposes. It's a smaller console. I can
Ah,
put it
that's true.
in a travel bag.
Okay.
And then they have the cases with like the screens on them and stuff like that. I'm thinking more. It'd be perfect for a bus or touring in general.
Okay. No,
Fair
that makes
enough.
sense. You were so you were so grumpy about it when it initially came out. Just like, why bother getting a console? I just have to get a new one.
More,
So
I'm
you
more
threw us for a
grumpy.
loop there.
No, no, I'm more grumpy at the fact that people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna put one in my new and at the same place my old one was." I'm like, no, but like for this, for like touring and travel and stuff
Sure.
like that, it makes more sense.
Yeah, sure.
They put a handle on it, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Just build it into the
Hmm.
case for me.
Let's see. And finally, she asks, in a few days, or wait, scratch that. If the Rio Olympics have been going on now, going now, starring our favorite heroes, Mario and Sonic. Knowing these icons, their treasure trove of companions and dastardly villains, there's sure to be an epic storyline. Create an over-the-top tale for the game you'd think would spark interest and wonder. So we have to come up with a plot to make people want to buy Sonic and Mario at the Rio Olympics. Um,
Well, that's easy. They just have to live.
yeah. It turns out that all the
It's a survival
Olympians,
horror game.
exactly, all the Olympians have contracted SARS and have turned into zombies, and
Hmm.
yeah, and so they have to escape the Olympics, avoiding zombie Olympians, while also, of
Hmm.
course, competing Olympic trials while they do it.
Yes,
If
and not getting
you
shot by drunk cartels. Yeah.
if you buy
Yeah.
and play it and you are registered to compete in the event in which you play in the game or the closest thing to it, we will actually award you the silver, bronze, silver, or gold medals because we no longer have a budget to actually put on the games. So we'll just televise it as an esports event where you actually wear all of your.
We're just converting the entire Olympics
That's
into
it.
an esports
All the whole
event.
Yeah.
All
thing.
the
And
Olympians
you
will
still
just
get
play
to
the game.
wear your like tracksuits and shit, and you can wear the, the medals after you win. But that's the best answer I've got.
That's amazing.
Bonus round. The bonus round for that is you have to do a retro track and field event on the power pad.
Ooh, yeah. You want to talk about no? Fuck Pokemon Go, man. You can run for days in your house. Just play track and
On the power
field.
pad.
That's
Yeah,
all you
unless you
gotta
have wood
do.
floors. Learn that the hard way in life.
Ooh, that sounds awful, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Bruised tailbone. Yeah.
Nope.
All right. Well, so Songbird, thank you for the email, and everybody else, thank you for your responses to our mailbag question. We appreciate it very much.
Hmm.
So, gentlemen, what do you have coming up in the future that you'd like to tell people about?
Goat.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess I could. I guess I can let the proverbial cat out of the bag. I'm going back out on the road. In
Yep.
September for 2 months of debauchery and partying and no, none of that. Actually, 60 dates, 60 days out with Dope again. So I will be all over this fine country in Canada for most of the fall.
On the
But
road
I will still
again.
be reporting in here as much as I can. So
That is the
not a
biggest
little guest
benefit to
house.
this show. Yeah, to the format change that we made to this show. I know that we had some audio issues that when we made the transition, which I believe that we have all straightened out now. But this is going
Yeah.
to be the biggest benefit to this new online format is that when is give or take, I'm sure in an instance here or there, like myself when I was away, but
Hmm.
we hopefully the show will be able to go on with your core hosts for the most part while
Mhm. Mhm.
Hmm.
various members are away.
I
So yes.
I checked my schedule and I think I'm in country with data every Sunday, so we should be all right because I'm out of country for 3 days and I don't have international Canada data.
Right
which
on.
is an issue.
All right.
We'll make sure to handle it, and who
Mhm.
knows, maybe we'll even squeeze in a couple of guests if possible while you're gone, just
Mhm.
to switch things up. It's been a very guest light
Yeah.
year.
Mhm.
Normally, with the studio format, we had people in and out all the time during the course of the year, and I actually, um, have we even when we were in the studio, have we had a single guest in 2016?
Just Michelle, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
no,
just
I think
so.
so. Yeah.
That's really weird for
Well,
us.
I
Well,
mean, well,
it's also been
with
a
the Windy City
whirlwind year.
episode, the
Oh
Windy
yeah,
City
That's true.
episode.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
but that's a live thing. I don't count that as a guest.
Right, that's true.
Obviously, we're gonna have a guest
Oh
on a
no, we
live
did.
show.
No. Jen did dial
All
in
right,
as a guest.
that's
Oh,
right.
That's
that's
right.
true. That's true.
That's true. So I don't know. Maybe we'll dust off the guest couch and then get
Hmm.
some people in here to
And
come in
you have
and
no
sing.
idea who I'll end up. I mean, you've seen what I pop in with somebody random too.
It's true. You can of course count on some goat remote while he's out there. Maybe you'll do like you did last year and send us that really funny drunk voicemail. That was great.
Here's open.
Yeah,
That's great.
Denver.
Fingers
From
crossed,
what I
man.
hear, Denver.
Pack your flask, buddy. Pack your flask. Um, Charlie, you got anything coming up this week?
Well, just speaking of the Windy City show, Ponyville Cider Fest just announced that that Big Jim Miller will be coming to Cider Fest, who you might remember from the incredibly embarrassing show that, for
Oh
me
yeah, that
anyway.
was Mr. Dick and Balls. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah, yeah,
45 seconds.
yeah, yep, yeah. That would be him.
I
He is
like
going
him.
to be
He's good
joining us.
people.
He is excellent people, yes, and Jim will be joining us at Ponyville Cider Fest in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, October 28th through 30th for Halloween weekend. It's going to be so much fun. But
Wait,
aside
did you
from
say October 20th through 30th?
28th through 30th.
Oh, I heard 20th through 30th. I was like, that's a hell of a con.
God, no. Oh my God, no. Not even I want that much con. But I might. Anyways, but yeah, no. So between Peter and Jim and Willa, those are the three guests we've announced so far. And like I mentioned in last week, and now we have announced publicly that we're going to have a guest announcement every week for 7 weeks in a row. We're 2 in now, and so for the next 5 more weeks. And next week's is a doozy. It's going to be probably our most exciting guest that we're going to have this year. And a tease for probably the one of you that cares about this kind of a thing. This may be a guest that had to back out of Winnie City.
Oh.
Oh,
So yeah, Cider Fest, gonna be a good time. But
Right on.
all right.
that's it for me.
Sean Connery. That's gonna be good.
Yeah. Um, by the way, just as a side note, I have to throw this out there. The mid-season premiere of season 6 of MLP was yesterday, being July
Mi-
30th as we record, and the mid-season premiere it focused on it was an invention. It was in the universe of the show. There is a book character that a couple of the show characters are fan of. Her name is Daring Do, and she's basically Indiana Jones, and Rainbow Dash, and goes to a Daring Do fan convention,
Oh
which
wow.
the writers very clearly. Like the people from the show very clearly took their pony convention experiences and put them into this episode. Do you guys know what I think I'm gonna say this right. Do you guys know what a daikuruma is?
No.
That
No,
is a
can't say
body
something.
pillow with a print of a person on it.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, 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 yeah,
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
They
Yeah.
made a Daikuruma joke, in they looked at there was one there and they looked at it and they were just like I don't know man, but yeah, so there were especially for people who go to pony conventions, there were a lot of in jokes there. It was just fantastic to watch.
You didn't
Also,
make the cut.
personally, not that I'm aware of. Also of note, the guest voice actor on that show is Patton Oswalt.
Oh
So
wow.
Oh nice.
yeah, it was a really good episode for anybody who cares about such things.
So does that mean they have a mid-season finale too?
Well, yes, yes.
God, TV just got really weird.
They have a hiatus in the middle of the season just because of production schedules, and so yeah,
So it's a split season. Oh yeah, TV shows are getting really weird.
yeah, yeah. I know there are a couple shows that do that. Most of the
Hmm.
ones that run from fall to spring, they have like a mid-season break, like in the winter.
Yeah, first time I heard that was Walking Dead, I think.
Yeah, they do that.
Hmm.
Madness.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah. John, what do you have coming up on your calendar?
Uh, well, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Metacon is going to be the next thing that VS for Villains is doing. It's going to be in Minneapolis. This will be I think our fourth year straight running doing Metacon, which is awesome. It's one of our favorites to do every year. Um, and so the people who listen to and watch Gamerhead Radio that follow VS for Villains probably noticed we made an announcement yesterday about the departure of two of our band members, which, if you're counting, means that we have already lost our brand new drummer, Mike. He's not going to be performing with us anymore. And more surprisingly, and sort of seemingly concerning to everybody's like heads burst into flames when we announced that Annalise is no longer a part of the band, so Vex is not a member of Vs Villains anymore either. Which when we made the announcement, we knew that it was going to be like, and that's exactly what it was. Then Nick and I were tending to very full inboxes for most of the last day and a half from people just asking questions, which we expected. Um, you know, it doesn't really do well to explain what happened, because not only is it a very long and kind of complicated story, it's really not anything interesting to anybody who follows the band, I don't think. Suffice it to say, all anybody really needs to know that follows the band is I just talked to Annalise a couple hours ago. Everything's gonna be fine. There's no like nobody's fighting, nobody's like, it's nothing like that. It's just life shit. Essentially, life is happening, and sometimes life happens all over rock and roll too. So you have to make adjustments for that as it comes. Um, Now, as for Mike, a multitude of reasons why that didn't work out in the end. But wish that guy the best of luck. We've known him for like 15 years, and want nothing but good things for him coming up. So, um, but yeah, the show is about to change. That's has some of to do with what's coming up. The show has needed a massive facelift for a while, and we've been working on new costumes, and we just debuted this new show, and some of it is we are not happy with the end result, even though you guys have been really receptive to it, and fans and kids have come out to the show and really been supportive of new costumes, new show, the set pieces, which we're going to keep. Um, it's just not. It's not the lead forward we wanted, and we're going to continue to book shows. We're going to continue to play Metacon and Con Alt Delete and Anime Zap, which are the three shows we currently have, on the books for contracts. How, you ask? Are we going to play as a two-piece? We're not. We're currently working on pulling a couple other people in. One of those people you guys already know and has performed with and played with the band and so on and so on. So, um, you know, it's just going to be a different show. It's not what Nick and I wanted, and we want something bigger maybe and better than what we were presenting in this new show after a very long time of building this new show. So, if it's not what you need, if it's not what you want, it's not right. Smash it up and build what you're looking for. So that's part of that answer. So yeah, that's it. That's everything I got coming up.
Okay.
It's small, it's nothing.
Hey man, you know what? My brother and I have been doing this a long time, and we've done a lot of different things and changed a lot of different things, and VS for Villains has been a literal rogues gallery of people. I mean, some of those people still come back and play every now and again. We just had Ted at House of Blues, and we've had Carrie come back and play. We've talked to Richard about coming back and playing. Like, we've done, like, almost, with the exception of like 3 people that have performed in this band out of the probably dozen total, only like 3 people are not allowed or welcome to come back. Everybody else, anybody else, if they want to come in and do the occasional spot, can. And I won't be at all surprised if Annalise pops back up on stage coming up, as soon as things get settled. So, that's it, man.
Okay.
The show must go on.
All right. Well, yeah, I was certainly shocked, as many were, by that news. But yeah, no, I understand how just things change. And yeah, it's crazy,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
We've done
Yeah.
it
So
here.
what's that?
We've done it here.
Yeah,
We're on our
that's true.
4th iteration or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's
very,
true.
very, very true. So, gentlemen, is there anything that caught your ear out of this episode you think would make a good topic for next week?
Um, you know, there was something earlier in the show that kind of caught my eye.
I have that one suggestion if you guys don't have anything
Yeah,
better.
go ahead.
I mean, I was kind of hip on the terrible games idea.
The
We've done terrible games though.
I don't know if we've done. We might have. I don't know.
well, um,
Ooh, games that make you think. Hey, Charlie, there you go.
yeah,
There you go. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Games that make you go,
yeah.
for the '90s throwback.
There you go.
All
Yeah,
right.
this is something that popped into my head after John mentioned that I think it was Inside, John, that,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that this was in relation to. He says a game that made you think, and I don't think this is a particular topic that we've actually done before. And so for next week's show, we're going to be talking about games that have made us think for whatever reason, either because they had like plot twists in them that like were startling or like striking in some way, or just the narrative of the story and just like the message and the story that the game gave you, like really kind of like it was one of those endings where you just had to sit back and just kind of like process it because it really just got into your head. So next week we're going to be talking about games that made you think is really how we're just going to sum all that up. And so our mailbag question then naturally is, what is a game that you've played that has particularly struck you, or made you have to think about it, or talk about it with your friends, and so on and so forth. So
Excellent.
that is gonna be our mailbag question to you guys for next week. And so, but with that being said, for this week, if you like what you heard, you can find us at gamerheadradio.com, at facebook.com/gamerheadradio, at google.com/plus gamerheadradio, and on Twitter at gamerheadradio, where I am at TEK Charlie, John is at the Fallon Flynn, and Goat is at Sir Goatsworth. You can email us at editors@gamerheadradio.com or call us leaving a voicemail at 94926gamer. Please download the official Gamerhead Radio app on Google Play and Android devices, or you can also subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, YouTube, Twitch, or other podcast downloader of choice. We are Our continuation of existing on SoundCloud is currently up in the air because it costs us money to have our episodes up there just because of the number of minutes. It's definitely more meant for music where you can put up 3 or 5 minute songs. They have a bunch of them up there, but with the number of minutes they give a free account. One of our episodes basically eats all that up, and so we've been having to pay for the pro account to be able to have our series of episodes up there, and listeners are not going there to download them on the most part. So currently we are probably going to be putting a hold on putting new episodes up on SoundCloud. If you are one of those people that think that we should reconsider that, please let us know. But for the time being, you can find us on all of the aforementioned platforms except for SoundCloud. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, downloading, viewing, subscribing, listening, interacting. Thanks very much. We appreciate all of you. This has been Gamerhead Radio.
Okay.
And a lead in.
What was the lead in?
It's got to be something about licensed games, right? It's got
I
to
think we should
be.
just go with the whole like today on Gamerhead Radio, we're putting out the licensed Gamerhead Radio game, and it's gonna suck.
No, because then people might think we're actually putting out a game,
Oh
Yeah.
right, yeah.
which would be awesome. I mean, I have RPG Maker. I could just make a game for us.
Whatever. I still like clickbait. I mean,
Mm,
they get through an hour and a half of an episode and they figure out we aren't. Thanks for the click.
I don't know.
Is it sorbet?
No, just regular Baskin Robbins ice cream.
Where did you get Baskin Robbins ice cream?
Michelle's home.
At 9:55. Wow, or Lollapalooza's like gotten really weak. If she's home
No.
by 9:30.
She had to leave early.
Oh.
Her Lollapalooza companion was I don't have the full story, but had to leave, and so she was Michelle's ride, and so Michelle was forced to leave.
Oh.
Which anyways,
That happens.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so lead in today on Gamerhead Radio.
No, we did that last week.
We did do that last week, which when I went and listened to the final edit, actually made me laugh out loud. I showed it to Megan and she laughed at it, and then told me I was stupid, and then I was
Yeah,
just
it
like,
worked out great.
"Great, thank you."
I was pretty happy
Terrible.
with the Easter egg last week too.
Easter egg was great.
That's the first time I've actually used our music in like 3 or 4 weeks.
You know what? Today on Gamerhead Radio, maybe find out what find out what Batman and the Noid have in common.
I don't want to alienate our listeners.
Let's do one more. I like that. I like that format. Just let's Batman, the Noid,
3
and
Ps.
we could say
Dirty
Nina.
Dancing.
Yeah,
There, perfect. That's perfect.
Batman, Noid, and Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, today on
Yes.
Gamerhead Radio,
Alright.
find out what Batman, the Noid, and Dirty Dancing have in common.
All right. Hold on, here we go. Well, I mean, we really don't need me to do this one.
Oh,
This is
and then I'm gonna say nobody puts Batman in a corner. Like that we need to
Okay.
put that in there. One of us needs to say it.
all right. So I get to say the Batman, Noid,
Batman,
and
the
Dirty
Noid,
Dancing,
and Dirty Dancing.
and you're gonna and one
What
of
was
you.
what was the Noid's
Maybe-
catchphrase? Like, what was his thing?
Let me look it up because I don't remember.
He didn't make any noise. He was audible or inaudible.
But I mean, did he have like a scream or like it's not something like?
No, it was just everybody saying "Yo, Noid."
Hold on.
He made a scream. He had a little scream, but for the most part, he was a non-audible character.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here is that is the case. He didn't really do anything. He just looked fugly.
It was just the kids. It was the kids of the people yelling "Yo, Noid."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Bless you.
that's on tape.
Thank you.
All right,
You just dated
so let's do this
yourself on tape.
lead in. Shut up. I didn't say dat tape. Well, now I did.
As opposed to dead ass. Ah.
That took a weird turn.
Are you stroking out
just
over there, dude?
recording No, just the fact that like recording on dat ass, I got a visual
Yeah.
with like a pin on somebody's.
It's
Maybe
gone
moving
too
on.
far.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Today on Gamerhead Radio, what do find out what Batman, Noid, and Dirty Dancing have in common?
The Noid. Say the Noid.
The Noid. Okay. Today on Gamerhead Radio, find out what Batman, the Noid, and Dirty Dancing have in common.
Nobody puts Batman in a corner.
Gamerhead Radio starts now.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I
Ah,
can.
great.
Yeah, I can edit the timing.
Show title. No,
we
nobody
get
puts Batman in
licensed?
a corner.
Actually, yeah, that works out just
Yeah,
fine.
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, just pop that into the thread.
Man, I love it. Sometimes it just that we get these so fast.
quick.
And other times it's like we just sit. Last
Pulling
week was
teeth and I
20
gotta go-
minutes. Thank God I like
Yeah.
Mike
Oh,
farted.
dude.
You know.
Yeah. I had to cut a whole bunch of it out. I laugh. I'm like, well, this was a long one because it's like this long of crap, and then sometimes that I just nip out.
Well, we ended up, according to what I'm looking at now, we're topping out at about 143 minutes,
Cool.
Oh, sure.
or an hour and 43
something.
minutes rather.
Yeah, and I mean it'll get
Um,
down there because there's a lot of stuff like
you
we can nip
you probably cut 10 minutes out easily. So I mean,
Oh,
hey,
yeah,
hour and a half
easily.
show. That's
out. The Katana rant and rave, I can cut that down by a metric ton.
not yeah, that's true. Not bad, not bad.
Yep. All right. So to anybody who's still watching, thanks very much, and we're going off air.
Absolutely.
Good night.